Meet Palabo. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything and set out on a quest to visit every country in the world. This is the Radio Vagabond Podcast.
In this episode, I'm still in Krakow, and if you haven't heard the first one from here, you might want to go back and listen to that one first. Then you will know that the voice that you're about to hear is Thomasz, a giant among tour guides here in Krakow. Literally, he's more than 2 meters tall. After the free walking tour in the old town, I speak to him, and before I let him go, we had to talk a little bit about FIFA World Cup that was taking place in Russia at the time of my visit. Poland was already eliminated, and now it was time for my own team to play an all-or-nothing match.
Today is Sunday, and I was speaking a little bit about Croatia before, and today I'm not a fan of Croatia. Because we're playing football tonight, and it's gonna be hard. And I'm not talking about Poland in the football. No, don't mention that.
So I know Croatia. Actually, know that they are tough, definitely. And with Poland, it was like previous 4 years, they were somehow good for Poland. And suddenly,
I think we're gonna have a hard night. but surprises have happened before. I only hope that I can find a sports bar to watch it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, all the best, and fingers crossed today for the match. Yes, for you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels and guest houses and hostels around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com.
You are listening to the Radio Vagabond, your guide to taking that first step towards living a more fulfilling and adventurous life. If Palabo can do it, why can't you?
I did actually manage to find a great sports bar close to Kraków Square that showed the match from the FIFA World Cup between Denmark and Croatia.
Croatia up against Denmark, but one of those flags will be folded away for a few years after tonight. Which one will be making
and already in the first minute, Denmark gets in the lead.
And the shot is put towards goal and turned in. Jørgensen, what a start for Denmark inside the opening minute.
But 3 minutes later,
and turn back in for the equaliser, Mario Mandzukic. What a start for both of these sides.
So 1-1 after only 4 minutes.
We go into extra time. It's level at the end of 90 minutes.
And this was a score until the end. So the two teams had to go into overtime.
Chance here to win it perhaps. Badel taken down by Jørgensen and cleared away. It has to be a penalty. Luka Modric up against Kasper Schmeichel. If he scores now, Croatia have 1 foot in the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
My heart was racing as Croatia gets a penalty kick.
It's saved by Schmeichel!
But our goalkeeper, Schmeichel, saves it.
And we will go to penalties in Nizhny Novgorod.
And then it all had to be decided with 5 penalties for each team.
Both teams have taken 4 penalties in this shootout. Both have only scored twice. And it's saved by Subasic! And Croatia know that if they score their next penalty, they are through. And he's done it! Croatian celebrations. Danish despair.
It was all over for Denmark. And it was so close. It could have gone either way. The bar was full of English supporters who were all helping me cheer for Denmark. So I told them that I'll be back every time England would play. And you can look forward to hearing about that and hearing them sing later in this episode. And there was actually also a few Croats in the bar. So we were cheering together and I congratulated them with the win of the match. But I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed. You can see a great photo of me with a Croat on the radiovagabond.com.
Travel is possible at any age. Your sense of adventure is just over the horizon. So, reach out and grab it. This is the Radio Vagabond. Gotta keep moving.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here actually for Jewish tour, we move to shade, right? So please move just a little bit.
Today it's a super sunny day here in Krakow, and I decided that I want to learn some more about the Jewish quarter, which is a big thing here, and it is just by chance it's Thomasz again. So good to see you again, man.
Good to see you, definitely. We are just about to start, ladies and gentlemen, officially.
It was good to see Big Tom again, and in the beginning of this tour he tells us something that I heard in many places in the eastern half of Europe. The Polish people also like to be called Central European and not Eastern European. I've heard this in many countries, from the first stop of my journey in Estonia all the way down to the Balkan countries. Maybe it's because it has a Soviet bloc ring to it. But Thomas asked the group to come closer as he's speaking about this, and says in a quieter voice, so no Polish person would hear him, that he feels is a bit of bullcrap. In his opinion, this is Eastern Europe. I felt that this was something that he didn't want to have on tape, so obviously I had to speak to him about this as we were walking to the next stop.
Thomas, a question I forgot to ask you. Where are we? Are we in Central or Eastern Europe?
Okay, it depends who you ask. If you ask me as a historian and as a guide, as a human being, as an educated man, we are in Eastern Europe. If you ask me as proud Pole, we are in Central, right? So
because I read somewhere that you don't say Eastern Europe to a Polish.
No, we don't. And somehow, I understand, the place it comes from, because I understand that it will actually, so many times, it's about how upset we are, in Poland, because that's a pretty Polish thing, right? That we are sad, we are upset, and that's how so many times we think about, nobody cares, nobody knows all these things about us.
And if I look at a map, obviously it's in the eastern half. But I think I will continue saying Central Europe to Polish people.
No. To Polish people, that's you have to. It's just must, right? Definitely. But if you come on, Eastern Europe is the beginning of Eastern Europe. That's the thing. We don't want to be, because so many times now we were treated as a satellite country of Soviet Union, just previous decades. So it sounds like, not anymore, So actually, exactly, border between Germany and Poland, I believe that's the moment when we slowly leave Central and we go to Eastern.
Okay. Thank you. Got that straight.
You can see pictures, videos, and links, and read much more on the radiovagabond.com. You can also send a few lines to Palabo and get featured on the show. Tell him where you are and what you're doing right now as you're listening to these words. Just click on Contact on theradiovagabond.com and fill out the form.
I'm about an hour's drive outside of Krakow now. I'm very close to the historical gate where it says Arbeit macht frei. That means I'm very close to Auschwitz, the most horrible concentration camp during the Second World War. It's probably not going to be a very uplifting day. It's probably going to be quite depressing, but I feel that this is something that you must see when you're in this area. So that is the day that's ahead of me right now.
All over the world, Auschwitz has become a symbol of terror, genocide, and the Holocaust. It was established by the Germans in 1940, and it's a bit more of an hour's drive from Krakow. They didn't build it as a concentration camp in the beginning. The camp was established as the fact that the mass arrests of Poles were increasing beyond the capacity of the existing local prisons. It functioned in that role throughout its existence, even when it also became the largest of the extermination centers where the so-called final solution to the Jewish question began in 1942. The first and oldest part was the so-called main camp, later known as Auschwitz I, which was established on the grounds and in the buildings of a pre-war Polish barracks. The number of prisoners here were around 15,000 at one time, sometimes rising above 20,000. The second part was the Birkenau camp, also known as Auschwitz II, about 3 kilometers away from the main camp. This was the largest part of the Auschwitz complex, and this is where the greater part of the gas chambers and crematoriums for the mass exterminations were built. So the first prisoners were Poles, but from 1942, the vast majority of those sent to Auschwitz were Jews. Throughout the existence of the camp, the authorities there treated the Jews with the most ruthless and often quite refined cruelty. The German SS men regarded a Jew's life as the least valuable of all. To the greatest possible extent, Jews fell victims to starvation, cold, hard labor, constant harassment and abuse, and various kinds of extermination operations.
So we're now at the back of the camp. You can see the end of the line. Originally it was just empty space here. No more barracks, no houses, nothing except for the big crematorial gas chambers, which are identical, just symmetrical to each other. The Nazis blew them up trying to destroy the evidence. So all they wanted to destroy was the evidence of the mass extermination, of killing in such a scale.
Auschwitz served as the largest Nazi center for the destruction of the Jewish population of the European countries occupied by and allied to the Third Reich. The majority of Jews who arrived in Auschwitz, at least 1.1 million people, including more than 200,000 children and young people, were killed in the gas chambers immediately or soon after arrival.
As the victims were never buried here. The biggest stone over there symbolized the crematorium chimney. The stones in front of it, some people, maybe family. Because this is just a symbolic way of commemoration. It's the whole area. It's like a big memorial. It's like a cemetery. We have no graves, but obviously with the ashes. Lots of ashes over there. Well, and now we'll go to see, obviously, the ruins. I'd like to remind you what it was like. Of course, arranging this monument, they want to destroy the original parts of the fences, gates, which are still here. They even saved the trees, as most of the trees were originally planned to make those crematoria invisible. Well, let's just go back.
Admission to the grounds of the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial is free of charge. The entry card should be reserved on visit.auschwitz.org. I got a link in the show notes. For better understanding of the history of Auschwitz, I recommend that you visit with a guide. And if you're a group of more than 10 people, like we were, it's also recommended that you rent headphones that are wirelessly connected to the microphone of the guide. Like I expected, this was a depressing visit. But I am a big fan of keeping history alive in order for us never to forget. That's why I went, and that's why I recommend anyone to go.
This is the Radio Vagabond Podcast.
It was my original plan to spend 3 weeks in Poland in total, half of that in Krakow and half of that in Warsaw. But I liked it so much, so I decided to make it 2 weeks here and 1 week in the capital of the country. And for the second week, I thought I'd like to live in the Jewish district, a bit closer to the old town. So I found another Airbnb. It looked good in the listing, but then something happened.
As I'm sitting here in my second apartment in Krakow, as you can hear in the background, it's a bit noisy, and it's not perfect because I'm working with sound. I'm editing another Lego podcast, and it's kind of annoying, all this background noise. And I'm on the 5th floor, and they are renovating the whole building. There's a scaffold outside, and they even taped my windows with plastic. So the windows are quite new, and they put plastic over them, so I can't open the window. I can't get onto my balcony, and they are hammering and putting up new plaster on the building. It's going to look nice, but it's not the perfect conditions. In fact, I feel that it would be only fair if the host had told me this before I booked it. There was not a word about this, and it seems like something that you would tell somebody before renting a place like this. Well, I'm flexible and I have to deal with it, and hopefully it won't take all week for them to be hammering and doing that, because otherwise I think I'll be going out of my mind.
You are listening to the Radio Vagabond. We'll continue in just a bit.
This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. Whenever you need a hotel anywhere in the world, go to Hotels25.com. That would get you the best price. Hotels25.com searches a bunch of the biggest hotel sites in one simple search. Hotels25.com. And then it was time for me to honor my promise to help support the English football fans in the sports bar. One thing I didn't take into account when I made that promise was that they were playing against my brother country, Sweden. There were hundreds of singing English supporters and only a few Swedes, so it was hard not to be carried away.
Right here in Krakow, I found a pub where all the English people are showing up every time there's a football game, and even more so when it's England playing. And just right now, it's England-Sweden in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, and everybody's standing up now. I think it's God Save the Queen now. Just a national anthem. Imagine England winning this game. It's going to be it's going through the roof. Guys, I'm from Denmark, and I'm doing a radio program. No, I'm Scandinavian, but I'm rooting with England. Guys, we are in a pub here in Krakow, in Poland, and it's packed with English people. What the hell is going on?
It's absolutely fantastic. England's playing Sweden today, and I'm sure all the guys here today, as you can see, is expecting England to win 2-0, and I'm pretty sure England will win 2-0.
But England never does anything in the finals.
Oh, you've never seen an England like this, believe me now. This is the best England team we have had for quite a while. The fans are going to pull them through. Yeah. This is only young boys. We've started up. They're going great. Imagine in 4 years' time, 8 years' time, hey, the World Cup's coming home.
English football has always been on the world stage, on the club level, with teams like Manchester United, Liverpool, and many more. But on the national team level, they haven't been outstanding in the FIFA World Cups and European Cups. But this year it was different. They were doing great. And as you heard, they were all singing, "It's Coming Home."
How's the game so far?
The game's fantastic. England's winning 1-0. Paul and Brass and the England supporters are all great.
I see a couple of Swedish guys over there.
Yeah.
Should I speak to them and see how they're
feeling? You can speak to them. We'll shake their hand if you want, but they're sick. Anyways, tell them they can join in the conga in 90 minutes' time.
Yeah. Okay, it's halftime now, and England is in the lead, 1-0. And let me just check how the atmosphere is out here on the street. There's a couple of Swedish guys over there. How are you feeling right now?
Are you a journalist?
I'm from Denmark.
Okay.
Okay. So it's right now. It's halftime, and I'm here with a couple of Swedish guys. How do you feel right now? You're also Swedish, I see.
Just for today, just for the weekend.
Just for today.
It's actually American. I can speak for us though that we'll take this home. We're still gonna bring it. The potential is there in the second half, and we will bring it. We will bring our hearts.
I think that you're a bit under pressure right now.
We are a little bit, of course, but such is the game. Such is the name of the game.
We don't feel the pressure. We don't feel the pressure. We're a second half team. It's coming home. It's coming home to
Sweden.
Home to Sweden, baby.
So many English people here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got cajoles. We got balls.
That's what it sounds like when England scored the second goal. It's now 2-0 to England, and it is extremely hot in here, and so is the atmosphere.
But it didn't last. A few days later, when I was back at the sports bar, England was eliminated. And a few of the fans actually became quite aggressive. So I decided to leave before they turned into hooligans. But that was only a few. Most of them were just great fans having a good time. And that's it from Krakow. Now I'm heading to the Polish capital, Warsaw, and I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Pelle Bo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.